What's going on, y'all? Jordan, another episode of Lightning Late. It's a pretty busy one today. We're going to be talking about the Oilers-Bolts matchup, as well as another discussion about the Olympics coming up. Jacob Pelletier as well, even though we only saw him for a game. I did want to touch on how well he's done so far this year. We're going to cap it off, of course, with the what if, because that's how we always end things. So, I'm going to dive right into this one, I think. Oilers-Lightning. First time we're playing the Oilers this year. Remember, back-to-back Western Conference champs, played the Panthers the last 2 years in the Stanley Cup final. Could have done both times, even though they have the best player in the world, Connor McDavid. This year's looking a bit rougher, too, for them. They're at 9-9-4 right now, including 4-8-2 on the road, and 5th in the Pacific Division. So, they're coming to our house. Granted, we're not that much better at home right now. We are coming off a 5-1 win over the Devils at home on Tuesday, though. We're winning 10-7-2 on the season. 5-5 and now at home as well. Right now, Bolts are tied with the Senators for 4th, and the Atlantic at 22 points apiece. So, not bad. We're slowly getting back to where we need to be, and that's what matters. For the Oilers, of course, McDavid's still playing like the best player in hockey. Already got 30 points this year, 9 goals and 21 assists. Those marks lead the team. He did sign a 2-year extension this summer. So remember, he was supposed to be an unrestricted free agent next year. But he signed a 2-year extension. So now, he's not going to hit the market until, I think it's ahead of the 27-28 season. So a couple summers from now. And the Oilers, despite him being, playing the MVP level type he always does. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. So very inconsistent this year, very up and down. They've been dealing with some injuries, but the form that's taken them to the Stanley Cup the last few years, it hasn't been consistent. It hasn't shown, pretty much every night it hasn't really shown. It's been very up and down. So, if they can get back to that form, then great. Obviously then we're looking at another Stanley Cup contender once again. But if they can't, maybe McDavid was smart to only sign a 2-year deal with them. A 2-year extension. So, I don't know. This is the first matchup against them this year. It is at home. We'll play them again in Edmonton later this season. But, a win here I think would be really good for us. It will put us at 11-7, and keep us on the right path. Because, we've been a little up and down lately, but still, 9-3 over our last 12. Not too bad. Remember, we started 1-4-2, right? So, to 9-3 over the next 12 games after that 1-4-2 start, it's pretty good. This form can continue against the Oilers, right? It's probably going to be a dub on our end. And that's what we want. That's exactly what we want, right? We want that, and we want Vasi playing well, which he's been doing lately, right? He's slowly been getting better. After that terrible game against the Rangers last week, he's really gotten right back into shape. Played excellent against the Panthers, only allowed the one goal. Only allowed the one goal here to the Devils after allowing 5 to them on October 11th. So he's been playing great lately. Especially, I'm just impressed with how he's rebounded after the Rangers game. I just really am. And, he's done that throughout his career, but still it's impressive to see because, well, being goaltender, as we all know, is one of the most mentally taxing jobs of any game, any position in sports as well. So, he has his own stuff. The fact that he's rebounding this well is good. Will injured Bolts like Hedman, Chernak, and Holmberg come back? Dominic James just came back. Sorelli came back. They came back in the win over the Devils. I don't know if we'll see... I think we'll see Hedman. We're not 100% yet. I think we'll see Hedman. Chernak and Holmberg might be some time. Crozier just went on the IR too. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Now, I am intrigued to see how, the young defenders that just came up, how they do. Declan Carlisle and Steven Santini, right? They've already played a game. If Hedman continues to miss time, they're going to stay up, right? Carlisle and Santini served as the Bolts' third pairing against the Devils, so not too bad. Carlisle played 11:42. Santini played 12:37. So they got a solid amount of minutes spelling the top four. The top four defense right now, though, Radish, Lilleberg, DeAstus, and Moser. So Moser, yeah, we saw that happening all day. But the other three, well, with Chernak, Hetty, and McDonough all out, they all step up. Santini's also actually the current captain of the Crunch, so that's pretty cool. He's actually getting his real first shot up here to contribute. If he can continue to do so, we'll see what happens. I'm really, really intrigued to see how these young guys do. I don't think they'll be up for too long, but if they can make an impact while they're up, then that's fantastic. It's kind of crazy too because the Canucks, right, the team that whooped us on Sunday, the 5 goals in the second period. Or 5 goals in the third period. They've played 29 skaters this year. They're the only team more than us. We have had 28. So it's definitely going to go up. Because Crozier's now on the IR. 3 other top defenders are out. Nick Paul's still out. Ponce Holmberg's still out. The depth from Syracuse is going to be utilized still. We just sent back down Saborn and Kachuk. We'll talk about Pelletier here shortly. But, this depth is really, really, really helping us. And that's exactly what we need because Coop said it best, right? It's a long season. We really need all the players we can get to contribute and help us win hockey games. So let's dive into our little bit of an extended All-Star break, though. And that's going to be the Bolts Olympic participants. Remember, the men's hockey tournament runs from February 11th to the 22nd in Milan, right? Milan, Italy, where they host the Winter Games this year. Oh, not this year. In a couple months. February, to be precise. Multiple Bolts could participate in the tournament like we talked about yesterday. Point, Sorelli, Hedmond, Hagel, Gunsel. All of those guys could play for their respective countries and probably start and probably do well for their respective countries. Coop's also going to be Canada's head coach. He did lead them to the gold of the Four Nations face-off earlier this year. And then Bolts players will likely be away from the team for the entirety of the games. So that's like from the 6th is when the opening ceremonies are to the conclusion of play on the 25th, which is from the conclusion of play on the 22nd, which is when the men's final is. So they'll probably leave shortly afterwards. The NHL calendar is stopping from February 5th to the 25th, so for 20 days. This is really good because most players won't be playing in the Olympics, so it's really going to give them a longer break to kind of recover and get ready for the final stretch of the season. Including, for us, it's going to be Kuch and Vasi. They're both Russian. Obviously, Russia's not playing in this, so giving them some time to really contribute and step up and take a breather as well, and kind of help lead the team through this period would be good. And I really think it would help bring the team closer together because a lot of this team, most of them are younger players that aren't going to shoot, or vets that are solid but won't be called up to there. Bjorky could be. A couple other guys could be. We'll see. So, not going to be too long. 3 weeks, roughly. But, they'll be back. And we're going to continue to chase that cup no matter what. So, it doesn't really matter. But, we talked about, right? All of the help from the Syracuse coming up and helping out. And everyone stepping up to a big deal. One guy that's stepped up even for a short time was Jacob Pelletier. So, Jacob Pelletier, welcome back. He was up for a game. So, he had a 6-minute cameo in the Bolts 3-1 win over the Panthers last Saturday. He flew down from Syracuse, on Friday night. Got there on midnight. Was with the team for about 24 hours and then went back to Syracuse. So, the Crunch's leading scorer was called out to the main roster following multiple injuries to players like Hagel, Sorelli, Dominic James. But all of them are back now. And Hagel was back in time for Sunday's loss to the Canucks, so Pelletier went back. And that's great because he's getting regular playing time there and he's playing pretty solid hockey. With the Crunch so far this year, he's tied with center Dylan Duke for the team lead in points of 15. He's 5 goals and 10 assists. His 10 assists are also tied with Nick Abruzzi for the team lead in that category, -1 plus-minus. Last year with the Flyers and Flames, remember he's the first-round pick of the Flames a few years back. 19 points, 7 goals and 12 assists, +7 plus-minus. Average time on ice of a little over 11 minutes a game, so not too bad at all. Pelletier and his fellow forwards, Kachuk and Saborn, did return to Syracuse following their latest step with the Bolts, though. Saborin played pretty well. Got his first goal, first assist too. Kachik was up in there as well. So, we'll take that all day. But another injury crisis hits the roster like it has over the last few days, right? I think Pelletier would be one of the first guys called up, especially if it's an offensive player. He's really been contributing down in Syracuse and just playing great hockey, and that's what we want to see, right? Because he did sign a 3-year deal with us, right? He's making $775K a year. Not too shabby at all, right? He's shown that he can handle some stuff in limited roles in the past, especially last year with the 49 games. But, we're looking for a cup, right? Pelletier can prove that he can add to this team and really help us get there. I don't see why we won't give him a shot, especially if there's injuries that crop up. Definitely got a lot. He's got a lot of competition, though. Abruzzi, Duke, Dominic James, Connor Geeky, a lot of these young guys. Gage Goncalves is another one. Jack Finley, Curtis Douglas, they all are trying to vie for these spots long term for us, right? We still have plenty of stars that are right now playing great. So, the main question is, can Pelletier continue to make a difference in Syracuse? And if he does, will he be one of the first call-ups? I believe he will be. And if that's so, then this welcome back will be for a lot longer than this current one is. All right? But let's dive in. A little bit of a change-up on What If today. A little bit of a change-up. We have had good goalie play lately, but, I do want to talk about Stuart Skinner a little bit because I'm intrigued by him. 2017 third-round pick by the Oilers. 4th season as the full-time starter. He's played in 50-plus games each of the last 3 years. Helped lead the Oilers to back-to-back Stanley Cups. His performance last postseason was pretty strong. He had multiple games where, he really stepped it up for them. 51 games last year, 50 starts. 26-18-4, 896 save percentage. As well as a GAA of 2.81. So, it's kind of funny because it was actually his worst regular season performance as the full-time starter yet. He had better years the year before in his first season. But in the playoffs, he played great. So that's the interesting part about it. 15 starts this year. 7-5-3 with a 2.86 GAA and an 889 save percentage. His numbers have dipped once again, but at the same time, we know the Oilers aren't playing as well as they usually have in front of him. So that's obviously why, that's at least the contributing factor to why he's regressed. Best performance was 2 years ago, 2023-24. 59 games played, 57 of those starts, 36-16-5 with a 905 save percentage. Strong marks all across the board. The 2.62 GAA, though, was the lowest mark of his career. And that's exactly what you want to see, right? Vasi starting to look more and more like himself. But remember, he's making $9 million not only this year, but the next 2 years, too. If, the up and down play continues, right? And remember, he's gotten better, he's gotten stronger. Just had the one bad start against the Rangers, but since then, he's really progressed throughout the season. But if he slips, what do we have to think about? That's across the problem, right? Skinner slipped too, but the team in front of him is not as good as it has been. Would it be smart to take him on, even though he'll be a UFA next summer? The Oilers could look to move on from him, especially if he's not playing well. So the question is, will we trade for him? And if so, what would we do, JoJo? How would it look with Vasi? Because you're going to want to get Skinner starts. I don't know if this would be a good fit for him, just because he's going to want starts, especially with free agency coming up. But, anything's possible. Vasi or JoJo starts to slip, and, JoJo has been up and down a little more the last couple starts, but still, he's allowed to be because he had a run of really good starts at the beginning of the year. Would a deal for Skinner be necessary? Well, if they're playing great, then no. But if there's one of them struggles, one of them dips back and forth, especially maybe JoJo, and the Oilers still struggling, I wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind it at all. So, tomorrow, Oilers Lightning recap and preview of the Caps game as well. So y'all know what that means. Double barrel what if. Those are always the best. We love doing those. So, this is Jordan with Lightning Llanes signing off. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll have a busy game to talk about, I'm sure. Have a good one.